So here on the Smooth Podcast, we have no other than Wale. Wale, how's it feel, man? How you doing?
I'm good. What up, guys? My name is Wale. I'm happy to be here. Appreciate you bringing me out.
Yes, sir. So the first guest ever on the Smooth Podcast, probably the most creative, visionary, introspective, hands-on, hands-off, great thinker person. And I'm honored to he said yes to this. And he's a creator and founder of YellowCup Weekend. He wants everyone to know that it's YellowCup Weekend, not just YellowCup. Can you explain just real quick the difference between YellowCup and YellowCup Weekend?
The difference between, YellowCup is something y'all just made up. It was never called YellowCup.
Wow, really?
It's always been called YellowCup Weekend.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So from a branding perspective, it doesn't matter. Y'all calling it YellowCup, we know what you're talking about. Yeah. But, the LLC, all of that is YellowCup Weekend. So that's just the official name. You know what I mean? So, that's that.
Sheesh, I didn't even know that. That's crazy. Also, he designs. Do you want to touch a little bit about your designing background?
So, I grew up in a house with just my mom and my sisters, and they were always into the arts. My mom always fostered, being creative. She used to come to my school in like African clothes, and I used to be so embarrassed. And then, yo, why you here with that?
Yo, not for nothing. And I swear on everything I love, I'm not just saying it because you're here. Yep. But Africans have it on lock when it comes to swag in 2022.
Nah, I hear like Nigerians are just flashy people. They love the art. They love fashion. So
see, I try to include all Africans.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, I gotta rep my people. You see, I got the Niger green on right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, that's how design really started for me. It was just seeing like the styles my mother used to wear, and like as I got older, I started having an appreciation for it. And it was one of the things that led me to opening one of my first companies, which was Mujo 6, which was an African clothing line.
Yes, sir.
That I named after my mother and my sister. And that did really well. Like, we were featured in so many, like, magazines and things of that sort. We were, like, one of the first to really, make ready-made African, fits. For
garments
anyone,
that people could go online
and
purchase.
Just buy it.
Yep.
For a lot of African clothing, you would have to go to some auntie or somebody to just make it for you.
Right.
And so Mujo 6 was really cool because it allowed you to just go online and buy that stuff. And I think that's when I really fostered design. Like, when I saw the reaction to, some of the things I was making and producing, how it would be featured in, a couple magazines here, and I'm just like, damn, I made this, and y'all really, rocking with it like that. And so that really gave me the confidence to like start monetizing being a creative person, and that's where it started for me.
Right. Wow, man. So first and foremost, I want to start off with the early life of Wale. So Wale, where were you kind of born, raised? What was your household like? Give us a little insight on early ages of Wale.
I'm a Providence guy. Born on the south side of Providence with my mom, my dad, my sister. I think it's really important to realize and just tell everybody, this is a common story for everyone, but my pops left when I was like 3 years old. So it was always just me, my mom, and my sister. So it kind of made me grow up really quick. And it taught me to be responsible at a young age. A lot of the hands-on stuff you see me doing is because I had to do that since I was a little kid. Like, there was no dad in the house, so something's broken, you got to go figure it out.
That's a hell of a connection too, because if you guys don't know him, he will be like, okay, I don't have a shed in my backyard. I'm gonna get some wood and a hammer, and I'm gonna make a shed in my backyard.
It's really crazy because it took me a while to even realize that. It's like a lot of the things, that happen in your life is because from your childhood. So for me, it was just not having your pops around. It made me just like so much more sufficient. My mom didn't have all the money in the world, so it was just like, yo, if something's broken, like, can you fix it?
It's on you.
You know what I mean? So I just learned really quick how to do those type of things. And so I think that's really important to note. It's just, it's something that some people take negatively, but for me, it kind of worked out positively and making me just like a mature person and just like focus on protecting my family and my sister at a really young age. And that's just how it was. So I don't think a lot of people even know too, like, when my pops left, we ended up having to move to like Chad Brown. We used to live in the projects, everything. I know people always see the end result, but they don't know where it starts from. Right. But we was in the projects, all of that. So I think just being grounded and, coming from, times where there wasn't money makes you appreciate the journey onto getting financial freedom. So that's my story. It's not a crazy story. It's not different from anybody, but
Right. And now, when did you find your passion in event curating, bringing people together for a good time? Because, myself as an event curator, I realized that, as a teenager, I love just going out to parties, right? I was always outside. You got to drag me inside to be inside. I wasn't like these kids today, right? But then something in your mind switches to, you know what? I actually rather do my own thing. I don't want to just keep on going to other people's events. I can kind of do this myself. When was that passion fueled for you?
I think for me, sometimes the world kind of gives you certain opportunities and you don't realize that you're good at something, right? I think all my life, I just been somebody that just creates vibes, like free vibes. Like I used to just throw house parties at the crib or just bring my boys over and we playing ball. But what I've noticed is anytime people are around me, they're happy, right? They're having a good time. And so for me, it was just like, I want to keep that energy.
Yeah.
But, after you go to school and you get business knowledge, you're like, you need to monetize this, sir. You giving all these free vibes. It's just like, yo, make this a business. It's cool that y'all having fun, but like, how do you make this a business where the core values of what you're doing is to have people have a great time, but you're still also monetizing it? And I think that's when it switched for me. It was like, yo, you really have something or personality or whatever it is. You got something that people just enjoy, attending things that you're creating. And I think it's the aesthetics of it all. It all connects. It's like if you put people in a room, I can kind of gauge how I want you to feel in that room. It's the artistry of it, right? There's more to events than putting someone in just a room and telling them, yo, have fun. From the colors of the wall to the type of music that's being played, from, the gifts that you're giving, you're creating a mood, an invitation for people. And I've noticed like really young that I had this ability to kind of, direct how you should feel in a space. And I think that's what goes back to designing. And so when I took that and I put it into events, I'm like designing an event. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's like, I want you to feel this way when you come here.
Right.
And so even from my house to just, there's always a mood that I'm creating. And when I figured out, you can create certain moods and it makes people happy, it's kind of when I was like, all right, I want to throw events. Because a lot of times I go to events and I can tell they just want people's money. You know what I mean? Like, you don't care if I'm having the best time here.
As long as you're here, you're here.
You're here, right? I'm just like a number to you. And I noticed that with a lot of events that I was going to. And so when I started, I was just like, I really want you to come and you just have fun. Like, I want you to have a good time. I want you to be safe. And I want you to be like, yo, that was an experience for me. And that's what really got me into, like, curating events.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? That's like, I just want y'all to have fun. Yeah. That's it.
Now, everyone that does know you, a lot of people know that you do have YellowCup weekend. But I'm going to bring it back a little bit before that because a lot of you people out there, y'all are new Wale fans. I was a fan of Wale.
That's funny.
During Party with Lay.
Sheesh.
Now, a lot of y'all might not know, but
that is funny.
If you want to explain what was Party with Lay, because I am a huge fan. On the outside looking in, I'll give my perspective after. But what was Party with Lay to you?
And so, first marketing mistake I ever made with Party with Lay, even though it was successful, I named the event after myself. That's so pretentious, man. Like, if you're going to do a brand, just don't name it after yourself. Okay? So anyways, Party with Lay, it was a brand where, I like to dress on like the term, what you want to call it, more dressier side. And at the time, there weren't events that did that. It was like really casual.
Correct.
And so I thought to myself, how can I have an event where we still get to get ratchet, get lit, but we get to wear suits, get to wear dresses, and we just didn't have that. And so Party with Lay was really that. It was just a party where you get to be dressed but still be yourself. And it went really well. Like, it was a successful event. I think our average events was probably like maybe 300 to 400 people. And at the time, there was no internet, so this is just like passing flyers or word of mouth type of events.
Right.
And then it got to a point where I started noticing people don't like getting dressed no more. And so before it flopped, I was like, yo, let me just end this right now.
Yes, and let me say, that is one thing that Rhode Island needs to kind of step their game up. They're very monkey see, monkey do in terms of like, oh, he has a Mary shirt on, let me get a Mary shirt. Oh, he has a trucker hat, let me get a trucker hat. I think that if everyone kind of elevated their style and elevated their space into what they originally want and what they originally feel like, I feel like we'll all be in a better spot instead of everyone looking the exact
I'm going to interject
same.
A little bit, though, because I do think Rhode Island people do have their own style. I just think right now, streetwear is just, it's popping. Like, at the time, you know, our streetwear back in the days a little bit was just kind of ugly. We used to wear big white tees. So I think streetwear now is so much cleaner and nicer, and that's why people just rock with it. Like there's so many people in Rhode Island that I could say that just dress really well. All right, they might not be wearing, you know, button downs, but it's like clean. You know what I'm saying? So I think now we're in a space, like even when we go to events now, you see so many different styles of dressing in the same space.
And that might be a fortunate thing for you. But I don't know if my demographics a little bit different. You know,
the only wears the mirror tees. That's it.
The locations are a little bit different. You know, but I'll leave it at that.
Listen,
yeah.
I'm not trying to play Rhode Island. Rhode Island, y'all fly, man. Sure, I'm never gonna say that on camera. Yeah. Y'all fly, Rhode Island. This man trying to get me say some wild stuff. Y'all be dressing, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So with now turning back, how did YellowCup start?
YellowCup weekend started in a house, man. This story is cool, and I want y'all to take this story and rock with it, just because you know, if you have an idea, you got to bring it to fruition. A lot of people might not see your vision. If you believe in yourself, just do that. If I tell you right now that I always knew YellowCup was gonna be like this, you'll think I'm tripping, but I knew it. So me and my boy, we used to have an apartment back on Oakland Ave. In Providence. This is like a party street, like a college party street. And me and my roommate used to just always have parties at the house. Free parties, mind you. Just wasting our money, giving people free liquor, just always throwing parties. It was just a vibe. And one day I woke up and I was like, yo, I see these red cups everywhere. I'm tired of these red cups. I see them on my lawn. I see them in the street. These students, I'm not going to say the school's name, are always drinking on my street, and they leave the red cups everywhere. I was tired of the red cups. Look at me. I was tired of the red cups. And so I woke up one day and I'm just like, yo, I want yellow cups. And like my friends are looking at me like, why? I don't get it. Why do you want the yellow cups? And they're just like, no. And I'm like, all right, I'll buy all the yellow cups. I buy it, we throw the party. They're like, all right, if you're going to buy the yellow cups, then I don't care. Yeah. Well, just use the yellow cups. And so we did that, and it was a Labor Day weekend. We threw a party with these yellow cups. And the unification of something so simple as a yellow cup, it baffled me, because everybody was more excited drinking out of this yellow cup than a red cup. I don't understand why. It was just because it was different. Right. It's like, yo, I don't see this. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so long story short, we're throwing it in the house. We do it every year. We just make it a yearly thing. But you can only be invited, right? You can't just come. You need like a special RSVP. Like, we're making it this exclusive thing. And so 1 year goes.
So not to cut you off, but this exclusive thing that he's talking about, I've been privileged to be a part of just over the last year. You know, whether it be basketball or movie nights, this guy, he does it all. Funny. He does it all.
Let me tell you the thing to exclusivity, and y'all take this and run with it, right? When you do stuff exclusive, you can pick the vibe that you want at the place, right? So I'm curating the energy that I want for the event. So when I'm doing something exclusive, it's not because I don't mess with everybody else. It's that these particular people that I'm picking, they're fun, right? I know they're going to like this, right? And so there becomes a culture for the event. So YellowCup is this positive fun. YellowCup Weekend is this positive, fun thing because of the people who originally started. You guys know who you are. And that energy has carried over to now that it's corporate. It's like you're welcomed. It's fun. It's inviting. There's no beef. We've never had like an incident, because the energy there is love, right?
Right.
Because it started with family. It started with a group of people that all knew each other, that was curated for them. And so that energy has now transcended to everybody. Like when people go there, they're ready to have a good time. They're smiling. And so when we started that, it was really just, I wanted to be with people that are like-minded and want to have fun. Your goal should be to have fun when you're attending this. If that's not your goal, don't come.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, again, started in a house party, and then, when I bought a crib, I moved it to my house too, and I had in my mind, how do you change over from this free house party to a venue that, now people got to pay? That transition could be very difficult.
Oh, yeah.
And so one of the creative ways I did that was, when I had it at the house, I had a cash bar. I had a catering company coming to, just to get people used to actually giving money for something that was free. And so I was like, all right, now you guys are like actually paying for drinks at the house, even though there's free liquor everywhere. So people are getting used to the idea of paying. And so now I got to shout out Vibe Lounge because they were one of the first people to, ever open their doors to YellowCup Weekend and allow it to become what it is now, right?
Shout out Vic and Leslie.
You know what I'm saying? They were one of the first when I wanted to take it out of my crib. I went to them and was like, yo, I want to throw a free party. Like, I want to just transition it from my house to here. Most places would be like, what? Like, how are you making money off this? I'm like, it wasn't about the money. I just need to get this joint out of my house because it's too big in my house. So Vic and Leslie, they opened their doors. The first ever one we do at Vibe, 1,000 people show up. 1,000. Mind you, this was a 200 people party that we just do at the crib. 1,000 people showed up to Vibe, and Vibe could probably feel like 600.
I heard it was kind of hectic.
It was crazy hectic.
I heard it was
your first
pretty
event.
hectic.
Your first event is always gonna be wild. But the true point of it is everybody has so much fun. Like so many people got turned away.
Right.
But that's what gave us the birth. People was like, nah, this is like legit.
Right.
And so that was the transition. And I'm just really happy that people have rocked with us for this time. And, I just want to keep, being able to provide quality events, quality experiences to people. And that's really what YellowCup Weekend is. You're probably one of the first people to ever get me to interview because I never even wanted people to know it was my event. I'm being honest. I don't want the accolades for it. It's really an event for the people. That's why we created a mascot. That's why we created a caricature because I don't want to be the face of the brand. You know what I mean? I think it's a good story to tell, but this event's for y'all, man. It's not about me.
And something you touched on before, just for any other event curators out there, it's very important, in my opinion as well, that you separate yourself from the actual event. Smooth Sundays are Smooth Sundays because it's not Rail Sundays, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Like, you got to separate it. And so I think the YellowCup idea was amazing.
And I think, going back to what you're saying, I think when you're curating events, you should have a goal. And if the goal is to have the event as fun as possible, as successful as possible, you shouldn't be throwing events to make yourself more popular.
Right.
Like a lot of young guys I see now, they want to put their name on everything. That's cool. But if you're truly building a brand, like, who's the owner of Coca-Cola?
Right.
You guys don't know that.
Right.
Maybe you do. But
it's safer that way because if you knew the owner of Coca-Cola was a dirtbag, you'd be like, all right, I'm not buying Coca-Cola no more, right?
Facts. And so it's like when you're building your brands, make them exist outside of you. Yeah, it's easy to use yourself in the beginning, but there has to be a point where you shift from that and allow the brand to do the talking. And I think, that's advice I can give to any up and coming, event curator or anybody designing something. You like exist outside of just your name and yourself. And I think we were able to do that with YellowCup Weekend. Like most of y'all have no idea it's my event, and I love that. This is pissing me off because now y'all gonna know. But yeah. So keep attending. If I ever meet you mad, still keep going. Sorry, my bad.
So like I said, this is the Smooth Podcast, and as this first Smooth Podcast, I want to hone in on certain things that make us who we are. So during the course of this, I will bring on guests that I deem as very successful in their field. And the kind of parallel thing that happens with all successful people is we get knocked down on our ass. Things happen out of our control. We don't succeed the way we think. We fail multiple times when we think it's a guaranteed win. But the most important thing is that we kind of keep on going. We find within ourselves to keep on going, keep on being motivated. So I want to know during your time, whether it be YellowCup events in general, what was the most crucial / hardest time period that you've had so far?
I'm gonna start even before YellowCup because the YellowCup Weekend there's something that started all of that, and if I'm being honest, I think it was like 2012 or so. I don't know the exact time, but I moved to Houston. I think I've told this story before. I moved to Houston. This company, I'm not gonna say their name because they're very shady. This company flew me out for work. And so when I got there, I was out there splurging, spending mad money. I'm like, I got this big job. I'm spending all my savings. I'm turning up. Houston live, right? So I'm in the VIPs. I'm doing whatever. I'm like, I'm about to be paid. Bro. I'm out there for like 3-4 months. And then like 2 weeks before my job was supposed to start, they hit me up and rescind the offer. They're like, yeah, we regret to inform you.
Man.
We regret to inform you, but we can no longer offer you the position.
And you already moved out
I already moved out there, bro. I'm out. So now I'm out here like, what do? Do I just go back home? Like I'm already screwed. Like I made some terrible decisions. Like, I done run all my money out. I party like crazy. I'm thinking I'm starting this job and there's no job. And so, you know, I'm really thinking like, do I just go home, move back home with my moms, or do I try to make it work out here? Like, and I'm an educated person. It's not like I was out there just trying to wing it. You know what I mean? I had an information systems degree. So I'm just like, what can I do in the meantime? So I go out there and I start substituting. I'm a substitute math teacher out there. And I'm just like, bro, this is not my life.
I can't even
How did I end up
cannot
doing
picture
this?
that.
I'm teaching these little kids, and these little girls is mad fresh, and they be flirting with me. And I'm like, yo, I gotta get out of here, bro. Like, this is crazy. And so funny, I'm doing a substitute math teacher. I do some other little gigs. And at that moment, I woke up one day and I was just like, I never want a job to dictate my life. Like, this job really changing my trajectory of my life. And so from that, I was just like, yo, I need multiple streams of income. Like, that's it, bet. This never happened to me again. And like, that was the moment for me. I was just like, all right, I can work a 9 to 5, that's cool. But if y'all fire me, I actually don't care. Like, I got money other places, right? Yeah. Or, you know, if YellowCup weekend tomorrow flops, I'll be sad. But I'm not gonna lose my health off of it. You know what I mean? You gotta have multiple streams of income. And Houston did that for me. It was a sabbatical. Like, to really see a bunch of black people out there getting money, doing what they need to do, and living off their own means, like, it showed me something that I didn't know I needed to see. Right. And so I think one summer I came out here for my boy Latif's birthday. Shout out to my man. And I was just like, yo, let me apply to some jobs out here, because Houston is really, I love it, but I ain't really making bread like that as no math teacher. So I applied, and then this company, this aerospace engineering company, they were like, yo, we want to fly you back out here. And so that's how I ended back in Providence.
Wow.
And so when I'm in Providence, I'm like, yeah, this is not going to happen to me again. Boy, like, what skills do you got that can make you some bread? Like, how can you add and, you know, build that portfolio? So that's when I did the clothing line. That's when I did the event company. That's when I did the design. And so now I got like three, 4 streams of income. And like, the peace level that was there after that, that's why you always see me turn smiling, because I'm happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nothing controls me at this point. It's like I have multiple ways to get to that bag. And for anybody watching that, like, yo, really do that. And if there's things that you're passionate about, if you can monetize it, go for it. And so that was like one of my lowest moments, because I was living with like my uncle, and at the time, because in Houston, his wife was hella mean. I don't care. I'll say it on camera. She was hella mean. And I was like, yo, this can never be my life, bro. Yeah. And so that was the motivation. And then number 2, the second thing that, you know, one of like my really low moments, I think was like 2 years ago, recently actually, I had knee surgery. And
I remember.
Not being able to walk is one of the craziest things. And, you know, I've battled depression before, so I knew that this surgery could do that to me. And so I reached out to like all my friends before the surgery happened, like, yo, I'm gonna need y'all around, man, because this is gonna be tough for me. I'm somebody that's super active. I'm always outside, as y'all can see. And just to have to sit down for like 6 months was gonna be crazy for me.
Right.
And the level of love and care and just people being there for me, it really showed me that, like, yo, people really do care about you. Like, you know, we hear a lot of music and it's always this negative, like, fuck people.
Right.
But to be down like that and have all my friends show up for me, it just gave me a new, like, found respect for, like, there's people in this world that do care about you. And so, like, the energy I have now is, like, I want to give that to everybody because I received it. Right. Like, I had my friends, they were sleeping over. You know what I'm saying? Their parents was bringing me food because I couldn't walk. And it's like, that was the first time I needed people. Yeah. And they all showed up. It could have been the opposite, and I probably could have been bitter.
100%. 100%.
But, like, for me, it was just like, dang, like, people really love you. So those are 2 moments for me.
Besides the rain, because everyone knows, oh my goodness, every time there's a YellowCup, it just ends up raining. But besides the rain, what do you think is the most difficult time of YellowCup? Whether it be the execution, the promotion, like, what would you bundle that as?
I've never really wanted to say this on camera, so you're gonna get it. But
can we drink first? Can we get a toast real quick?
Yo, listen. A lot of places don't like black people.
Wow. Straight up.
It's as simple as I could give it to you. You know, you try to be well spoken. You try to wear your little shirts. They don't like black people. So, a lot of the places, there's so many venues that will give me this crowd doesn't fit our demographic. What do you mean by that? We've never had incidents. We never had fights. A lot of these venues, I'm not talking about the ones we've actually successfully used before y'all think I'm down in them. But there's a lot of venues we've reached out to do these type of events, and they just don't want us in our spaces, in their spaces. And it kind of sucks because I know if YellowCup was a predominantly Caucasian event,
it'd be different.
It would be different.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be honest with y'all. Yeah. So, some of the hurdles is just running into blatant racism. And, as a business person, sometimes you got to take the racism because it's like I could wild out right now. I could go on NBC and tell the stuff that you're saying, but then the whole brand would just be blackballed, right?
Right.
And so those are the things.
You don't know who they know.
You know what I'm saying?
They know.
And so, sometimes, when you get negative comments from your black people about the event, you're like, boy, you don't even know what I had to go through to get y'all in this place. Like, they don't have black people here. You're not even realizing what's occurring.
And now, feeding off of that, and I was going to ask this, but you opened the gate already. I want to know, and I'm so thankful that you're keeping it so transparent.
You got
right
to,
now, for real. But I want some transparency on how you feel when you see the tweets, when you see the IG posts, mainly the tweets. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
What do you feel? How do you feel?
So listen, I'm not on Twitter. I don't go on Twitter. I don't respond because y'all are mean on Twitter. Y'all go crazy on Twitter. I don't go on Twitter, bro. So, but I hear some stuff sometimes, and I knew you know what? Let's have a moment right now because the real negativity for the event really started with the rain. Before that, there really wasn't really negative things said about YellowCup weekend. I think before I even get into that, let's talk about what we could have did right. I think our communication could have been better in terms of the delivery in which we sent out the information that it was going to be canceled.
But to your, I'll let you finish. To your credit, because me and him are actual friends, he gave me the reason why he was so late in telling people that there was an actual reason.
All right, so with certain venues, you sign contracts where that is rain or shine. I don't think a lot of people know that because they probably don't throw events like that or whatever.
Right.
But so there's contracts you sign where the event is rain or shine. You agree to that, right? And by guest purchasing the ticket, they also agree to that because your ticket said rain or shine. When you purchase a ticket and there's a description there, you actually contractually agree to that. And so the situation I was in was that I couldn't make the cancellation request. I wanted to cancel the event once I saw the rain 3 days ago. I was like, yo, let's just move it.
Right.
Because I'm not dealing with this. Too many people have flown out. Let's just give them a heads up and let's just move it. The venue, and not to knock them, it's a business. They rain or shine. They've gone through this so many times that they're just like, let's wait it out. You know what I mean? And sometimes when they wait it out, New England. Sometimes you wait it out and it works.
Yeah.
They made a bad call. And so if I would have decided to cancel the event, all of y'all would have lost your money. I'm just going to be a buck. There was no refunds. Y'all signed no refunds, and it's rain or shine. So if I cancel it, y'all out the bread, I'm out the bread, and y'all going to come for me for the money that I don't even have because the money didn't come to me. It goes to the venue.
Right.
And so I needed a natural disaster to occur for the event to be canceled. And boy, did a natural disaster occur.
And really so, did. That's a wild part.
We're waiting. I'm just like, yo, guys, let me cancel this. They're like, nah, let's wait it out. And so then the entire place floods. It was by the river, so as the water is rushing, the place floods. So we couldn't even get the information out because we were actually in an unsafe environment. All the electrical cables became submerged in water. And so the fire department was like, yo, you guys got to stay in the trailer. Like, you can't come out until we're able to shut the power off. And so, these are things that happen. I mean, the average consumer is not going to know that. But again, I think we could have did a little better in getting the information out. Now I have contracts with these venues that allow me to postpone the event a day before. You know what I mean? Like, y'all not going to make the decision because you're going to kill my brand.
Right.
I get 24 hours. Obviously, they're not going to let me make it 3 days or 4 days ahead because that's wild. Rhode Island, it could switch anytime. But these venues now allow me, a day before to make the call if we're going to postpone or just cancel it. And I get your money back. And it was one of the reasons why now, I think a lot of people, even on Twitter, were like, oh, why he going to Worcester? It's because I heard y'all. I heard y'all, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I can't have this happen to me again.
Yeah.
And so Worcester, Polar Park, it was a venue that was rain ready. You know what I'm saying? We could go any part of the park, but if it rained, we could go under the concourse.
Yep.
And lo and behold, what happened? What happened this one too?
It was in the concourse.
And it rained again.
Yep.
And so I think, you know, over time you just learn things. And I think Worcester was a product of us listening and getting better. I think with anything you do, you want to get better. You want to improve. There's so many things that's outside of your control. The things that you can control, you try to control it. And that's even in life for everybody, right? Yeah. There's so many variables, the things that you can't control. The things that you can't control that. And so for me, I was like, the place that I pick for YellowCup weekend, I could control that. And so that's what we did with Worcester. And I think that's probably one of the best ones we ever had. So
we can look back at it and laugh now, but, you know, Wale was like Jim Jones, the weatherman, when he was out showing people
I'm like, yo,
how flooded it was.
I'm like, and nobody cared. I'm like, yo, this is bad.
Yeah.
It stopped raining, but the site is destroyed.
Yeah.
Like we had to kick in with our insurance because so many things were just destroyed. And you wouldn't think that as a consumer. You're like, oh, it stopped raining. Why can't we do it?
And to his credit, the last YellowCup I attended, and it was pouring out, but it was such a great party that I don't even think anyone even cared.
And because you didn't have to get wet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the beauty of it. And so now going forward, we're always going to have a rain plan. I think you just learn from things like that. We're not the first event to ever be rained out. We're not going to be the last, but, you know, it is what it is.
Right.
And so I'm not talking about this anymore. It rained. It's done. We done had 3 events after that. I'm sorry. We don't control it.
Now,
that's it.
what was the one, you know, statement or tweet that was so hateful towards you or your brand, but you can actually laugh at, like, oh, no, that was pretty good, though?
To be honest, I never read it. Only thing I ever saw one time, and I was like, yo, this is when I was like, yo, people just be tripping. I think somebody wrote, they got porta parties at YellowCup weekend. Bro, it's outside. What do you want? What kind of bathrooms do they have at festivals? Right. There's porta parties. Right. So I just learned, like, people really be tripping sometimes. And you got to remember, mostly the loudest person in the room is usually the most negative person. So sometimes you might think this is the actual feeling of your event, but it's not. It's a group of people that feel that way. And so when you're talking, you know, the numbers we're doing at the event, that's such a small percentage of the people that are disgruntled that you have to take heed to certain things, but you can't listen to everything, right? So obviously things like improving bar speed, that's across the board for any event. You always want to improve that. And I think we've improved tremendously from the last one to this one. So every year we're just going to get better, and I'm happy for it. But ultimately, all I care about is that people are having fun, and it's a quality event. We're going to always make it better.
All right, so this next segment is this or that. So I'm going to name 2 things.
Yep.
I just really like to get to know who I have on this couch right here, and hopefully you guys will get to know better as well. Hot or cold?
Hot. I like being hot. The cold, I don't even know how I live here. I like hot. That's it.
Jordan or LeBron?
I'm going to go with Jordan because I love originators. You know, he was the blueprint for a lot of basketball players. So you can never, like, take away the originator.
Best rapper, Lil Wayne, Kanye West?
I'm going to go with Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne pioneered so much for people. Again, I'm like this guy that just loves originators. And to think about the people that he got on his label, or was on his label, it's Lil Wayne for me.
Okay. Loved or respected?
I'll take respect. Love is so fickle, and love is like, I'll take respect. I think respect is better. You still want to be loved, but I'll take respect.
Now, this is a strictly Rhode Island. I know I'm going to have some mass listeners and stuff, but this is a strictly Rhode Island question. For teen parties, Barry's or Tantric?
I was a Tantric goer. I didn't really do Barry's, so I'm just going to say Tantric because that's what I know. I don't really know Barry's. But Tantric's been a staple forever, so I'm going to go with Tantric. Get your flowers. Yeah, we'll go with Tantric.
See, Tantric was ill because the threat of imminent danger worked, but we was out there 15, 16, still like that's when outside was really outside.
Facts, man.
I'm gonna keep it all the way to being
Tantric.
Shout out DJ Ruckus,
man.
Like,
shout out all of those guys. Yeah.
That's when outside was outside.
Those are the originators.
Yeah. Now this is a good one, and I'm probably gonna have this question for all my guests, but this one I feel like is gonna touch you a little different.
Okay.
Modern day Afrobeat or 90s R&B?
Nah, this is wild. You can't do this question. it's not even comparable, to be honest. There's such you
gotta pick one.
You gotta compare R&B to R&B. You can't compare R&B to Afro beats. It's a whole different vibe. I'm gonna have to go Afrobeats. I'm a Naija boy. If I say anything else on this camera, it's hella wild. So we got
so you got the Afrobeats.
We gotta go Afrobeats.
Seafood diet, as in shellfish, lobster, shrimp, or seafood diet, which is whatever's on the table you eating.
See, I don't eat crazy like that, so I'd have to go with the seafood diet. Yeah, I think what you put in your body makes a lot of sense. Cause all this energy I got, you can't just be eating garbage, man.
And now there's some fire questions to kind of end the interview. City you would like to live in. If you could pick any city in the world to live in. And like realistically, like get a house there, raise a possible family. What city would you pick, B?
I like Providence. I'm just going to say that. I'm staying in Providence. I like it.
So you're staying in Providence?
I like it. Y'all don't like Providence? I like Providence. I'm staying here.
I love to hear it.
I'm staying here.
Love to hear it. Your favorite clothing brand?
Damn, I wear so much different clothes. My favorite clothing brand, it's not even a major brand. What's the name of it? They make these knit shirts, and I don't know the name of it. I got it from Instagram, but I like my little knit polos. I don't know the name of it, but if I figure it out, I'll tell you.
Okay. Top 5 current artists that you listen to. So if you were to look at your iTunes right now, the top 5 artists are heavy in rotation.
For me, I bet that he be acting all cocky like. Just Chris Brown. I love my man's Chris.
All right.
I love WizKid. I like Burna Boy right now. I've been rocking Givion's album lately. So those are the top 3 that I'm listening to right now. Is Giveon, is Burna Boy, and it's Chris Brown. They all dropped albums right now. And then you're always gonna catch me with some 90s R&B. I love my R&B. But those are the 3 albums that I've been like in rotation right now.
All right. And if you could have lunch with anyone, who would it be and why?
If I could have lunch with anyone, who would it be? I would want to have lunch with Kobe. Kobe was my guy, man. Kobe made me want to play basketball. Like, even at, whatever level I got to, it was because of Kobe. It wasn't Jordan, it was just Kobe. I always loved the way he carried himself. I always loved the way he hooped. It's Kobe. I have lunch with Kobe.
Your biggest inspiration?
It's going to sound weird. My biggest inspiration is peace. Like, anything that brings me peace, I'm inspired to do. Like, y'all need to really find peace in your life. Like, once I found that, I think everything just kind of makes sense. Like, anything I do, if it brings me happiness, I'm with it. So I know I'm supposed to probably say a person, but no, I'm going to say peace. That's my inspiration.
Okay. And now, for anyone out there that's needing a little bit more motivation, what do you think you could tell someone that needs a quick pick-me-up or that is going through the trials and tribulations of being a successful person but is getting bumps in the road, failures? What can you kind of tell those people?
Look at life like this. Every day is a chance to get better. Every year is a chance to get better. Just be better than you were yesterday. Be better than you were last year. You are enough. There's nobody like you, right? So once you figure out that special thing about yourself, rock with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be you. And make sure every year you're constantly striving to be a better person, be a better friend, be a better lover, be a better, you know what I'm saying? Every year be better. I think, who did I tell this to? We always have this running joke, John Hope. I would say, be better. Like, yo, are you better than you was last year? If you are, then you're on your way to being successful. Don't look at what other people are doing. Just compare your life to what it was last year. And if it's better than that, you're on the right track. I love y'all. You feel me? That's it.
Well, pleasure as always, Wale.
For sure, my guy.
This is a legendary interview. Even if, a bajillion people watch it, 5 people watch it, I'm so honored and thankful to have you here to come by to Smooth Podcast, man.
I appreciate you, my guy. Keep doing your thing. Yo.